Very good morning to one and all, and I welcome you all for the next lecture of heat transfer. Whether my voice is audible and can you see my presentation? Please let me know in the chat box. Whether my voice is audible? Great. So can we start now? Great, great. Okay. So in the previous lecture, we have discussed about the lumped heat capacity or lumped heat capacity analysis. So in that, we derive this equation T minus Ta divided by Ti minus Ta is equal to exponential of minus H multiplied by A suffix S divided by rho Vc multiplied by whole multiplied by T. Okay. So this is the equation number 6. Further, we have considered that T minus Ta, that is the instantaneous temperature difference between the surface and surrounding as a theta, and initial temperature difference as Ti minus Ta as theta I. Okay, and we have also consider one more nomenclature, that is nothing but rho Vc divided by H multiplied by A suffix S is nothing but tau. Okay, so we have put up that in the equation, and we will get the equation as theta divided by theta I is equal to exponential of minus t divided by tau. Here exponential means what? E raised to that particular quantity. Exponential means what? E raised to, we are saying that E raised to x. So this is the exponential of x. Okay. So similar fashion here, exponential of minus t divided by tau. Okay. That is nothing but E raised to minus t divided by tau. Okay. Now we have discussed some of the points. So in that, first is nothing but related to the exponential heating and exponential cooling. So we, once we are dealing with the negligible internal resistance, then that particular heating or cooling process will be considered as a Newtonian heating and Newtonian cooling process. Okay. Now, during that Newtonian heating and cooling process, the temperature varies exponentially with respect to time. Temperature varies with respect to time. Okay. So we have considered that the in case of heating, the external temperature is greater than the body temperature. Okay. So this is the external temperature level, and initial temperature for the body is this one. And as the time passes, the body gets heated exponentially. In a similar fashion, if you consider the cooling of a body, so in that case, this is the temperature. T suffix A is the environmental temperature, which is lesser than the body temperature. Here we have considered the initial body temperature, and as the time passes, this temperature goes on decreasing exponentially. Okay, that is nothing but exponential heating or exponential cooling. Okay. Further, we have discussed that this particular tau term is content of two variables, or we can say that two quantities. One is nothing but rho Vc, and second is nothing but H divided by A multiplied by S, where this particular H divided by A multiplied by S is nothing but a convective resistance, and rho Vc is nothing but a lumped thermal capacity of a solid. Okay. And to know the significance of this particular tau, we have taken all the units of this particular, all the variables, and we come to know that the tau unit is second. Okay, which is called as a thermal time constant. Tau is called as a thermal time constant, and its value is representing of a response of a system to the sudden change of a environmental temperature. Okay, its response, it represents the sudden change in the environmental temperature for that particular body. Okay, response of body for the sudden change. Okay, then if you increase the RTH value, or RTH convection value, or CTH value, so both will help to increase the tau value. And as the tau goes on increasing, the system respond very slowly for the environmental condition or change in environmental condition. That is our third point. So that we have discussed in the last lecture. Now today we are trying to understand the further conversion of this equation number 6, and the significance of Biot number and Fourier number. How this particular bracket term can be converted into a dimensionless term. Dimensionless term means what? That particular term does not have any dimension. So you have learned some of the dimension terms. One of that is Reynolds number, Prandtl number. Okay. So you maybe discuss or derive that particular terms in the thermodynamics also, or in fluid mechanics also. Okay. So here we are going to convert this particular h multiplied by a suffix x divided by rho vc multiplied by t into a dimensionless term form. Okay, that is nothing but Biot number and Fourier number. And further we will discuss the significance of Biot number and Fourier number. Okay. Is there any doubt? 71 roll number. Is there any doubt? Okay. Then unmute yourself. 71. Are you listening me? Okay. Okay. So here now we are going to consider the exponential factor of this particular factor, that is nothing but h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t. Okay, this factor we are going to consider, and we try to convert this factor into dimensionless form. Okay, so consider the power of exponential term can be rearranged in a dimensionless form as. Okay, so consider h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t. Okay, now this particular term will be multiplied by v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k. Okay, where v is nothing but the volume of that particular solid, a suffix s is nothing but surface area of solid, and the k is the thermal conductivity. Okay, so our initial term is h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t. Now we have multiply and divided by v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k on numerator side and denominator side. Multiply on both the sides. Okay, so we will get h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t multiplied by rho v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k divided by v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k. Now do the multiplication in the numerator side and the denominator side. Okay, so we will get h multiplied by v, and we have separated the variable as per the requirement. Okay, here we have separated the variable in two uh, two quantities. Okay, so uh, uh, in one quantity we have taken h multiplied by v divided by a suffix s multiplied by k. Okay, so multiply by a suffix s square multiplied by k divided by rho multiplied by v square multiplied by c whole multiplied by t. Now here we are going to introduce one more term, that is nothing but characteristic length. Okay, characteristic length. So characteristic length for any solid or any object is nothing but volume of that particular object divided by surface area of that particular solid. Okay, volume of solid divided by surface area of solid is nothing but characteristic length. So it is represented by L suffix C. Okay, it is represented by L suffix C. Remember this, characteristic length is nothing but volume of solid divided by surface area of solid. Okay, so if you want to understand this particular concept by considering variable object or a simple object. Okay, so first of all we will consider the plate or slab. So in case of a plate or slab, what will be the characteristic length? Okay, so LC is equal to V divided by A multiplied by S. So volume of a plate or slab is equal to L multiplied by B multiplied by H. and the surface area, total surface area we have to consider. Okay, total surface area of that particular slab is nothing but 2 multiplied by b multiplied by h. Okay, so b in the numerator side and h on the numerator side will be cancelled with the b on the denominator side and h on the denominator side. Okay, so then we will get the l by 2, which will be the characteristic length of that particular plate or slab. So L we can consider as the thickness of slab, B is the width of that particular slab, and H is the height of that slab. Okay. So similarly, we will get the L by 2. Now, in a similar format, if you want to derive the characteristic length for the cylinder, okay. So in case of a cylinder, characteristic length will be volume of cylinder divided by surface area of cylinder. So volume of cylinder is pi r square L, and the surface area of cylinder is 2 pi RL. Okay. So pi r square L is the volume of cylinder and 2 pi RL is the surface area of cylinder. So in case of a cylinder, characteristic length we will get as R divided by 2. And for sphere, LC is equal to V divided by A suffix S, which is equal to volume of sphere is 4 by 3 multiplied by pi r cube, and the surface area of sphere is 4 pi r square. Okay, surface area of sphere is 4 pi r square. So we'll get the characteristic length as r by 3. Okay, and in case of a cube, okay, volume of a cube divided by surface area of cube, which is equal to volume of cube is L cube and surface area of cube is 6L square. Okay, surface area of cube is 6L square. So we'll get the characteristic length for the cube is equal to L by 6. Okay, L by 6. Now further, we understood what is meant by characteristic length. Now we in previous equation, here the volume divided by surface area is there. So instead of that, we can put up the characteristic length, and here surface area square divided by volume square is there. So instead of that, we can put up 1 upon LC square, 1 upon characteristic length square. Okay. So further, now above equation becomes, what is our equation? This particular quantity we are converting. Okay. So this quantity we have derived up to this level, that is nothing but H multiplied by V divided by A suffix S multiplied by K multiplied by A suffix S square multiplied by K whole divided by rho multiplied by V square multiplied by C whole multiplied by T. Okay. So instead of that V divided by A suffix S, we are going to put up the characteristic length. Okay, we are going to put up the characteristic length, and instead of A suffix S square divided by V square, instead of that we are going to put up LC square. We are going to put up LC square, and we have sorted this particular two brackets as per our requirement to convert it into a dimensionless form. Okay, so we'll get the equation as H multiplied by LC divided by K. In another bracket, K multiplied by T divided by rho multiplied by C multiplied by LC square. Okay. So this particular HLC divided by K will be kept as it is. Now here, if you remember that the K divided by rho C is nothing but what? The thermal diffusivity. K divided by rho C is nothing but what? Thermal diffusivity. Thermal conductivity divided by thermal capacity will be treated as the thermal diffusivity. So instead of K divided by rho C, we are going to consider the alpha, where alpha is nothing but the thermal diffusivity. Okay, so we'll get the quantities as HLC divided by K multiplied by, in another bracket, alpha multiplied by T divided by LC square. Okay, so where this HLC divided by K is represent the B suffix I, which is called as a Biot number, and alpha T multiplied by LC square, which represent the F naught, that is nothing but the Fourier number. That is nothing but the Fourier number, where you can write also Bi is equal to HLC divided by K is equal to Biot number, and F naught is equal to alpha T divided by LC square, which is nothing but the Fourier's number, Now these two numbers are the dimensionless numbers. Okay, So instead of h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t, instead of that we can write as b suffix I multiplied by f naught, that is nothing but Biot number multiplied by f naught in the exponential equation, in the exponential equation. Are you getting, everyone? Are you getting, everyone? Is there any question, any doubt? Is there any question, any doubt? So write down the power of exponential term, the power of exponential term, the power of exponential term, the power of exponential term. Write down, everyone. Further, we have reached up to this. Okay, or we'll start with, now let us consider equation number 6. Let us consider the equation number 6. Or equation number 6 is t minus ta, t minus ta divided by ti minus ta is equal to exponential of, is equal to exponential of, in square bracket, in square bracket, in square bracket, minus h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc whole multiplied by t. Write down, everyone, equation number 6. Next, write down the power of exponential term can be rearranged. The power of exponential term can be rearranged. The power of exponential term can be rearranged. The power of exponential term can be rearranged in a dimensionless form as, in a dimensionless form as, in a dimensionless form as, in dimensionless form as. Consider, 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 consider the exponential term, whatever the square bracket we are going to consider that. Consider h multiplied by a suffix s, h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc, divided by rho vc whole multiplied by t, whole multiplied by t. Now multiply and divide by v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k. Now multiply and divide by, now multiply and divide by v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k. Now multiply and divide by v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k. So this is our initial term, h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t, which is equal to multiply and divide by v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k. So we'll get the equation as h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t multiplied by v suffix a suffix s, v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k, and divide by v multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by k. Okay. So we have rearranged this particular multiplication in this format. So h we have taken on one term whole divided by a suffix s divided by k multiply by a suffix s square multiply by k divided by rho v square multiply by c full multiplied by t. That will be our another term. Now further we have introduced one new character or new nomenclature, that is nothing but characteristic length. Characteristic length. Write down the formula for characteristic length. Characteristic length is equal to characteristic length is equal to characteristic length is equal to volume of solid volume of solid volume of solid in bracket v divided by surface area of solid in bracket a suffix s divided by surface area of solid in bracket a suffix s. Then the value of LC for different object. Value of LC for different object. First one we are going to consider flat plate or slab. For plate or slab, L suffix C, that is characteristic length, is equal to volume divided by surface area. So volume of plate or slab is L multiplied by B multiplied by H, where L is nothing but the thickness, B is nothing but the width, and H is nothing but the height of that particular plate. Okay, this is the volume, and the surface area is 2 multiplied by B multiplied by H, 2BH. So that characteristic length is equal to L divided by 2. So that is nothing but half of thickness, L divided by 2. Then second object we are going to consider the cylinder. So second one for cylinder, L suffix C, that is nothing but characteristic length is equal to volume divided by surface area of cylinder. So V divided by A suffix S is equal to, so volume of cylinder is pi r square L. Volume of cylinder is pi r square L, and the surface area of cylinder is 2 pi RL. Surface area of cylinder is 2 pi RL. So we'll get the characteristic length for cylinder, which is equal to R by 2, That is nothing but half of cylinder radius, LC is equal to R by 2. Then for sphere, third object is sphere. So in case of a sphere, volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. In case of sphere, volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube, and the surface area of sphere is 4 pi r square. Surface area of sphere is 4 pi r square. So characteristic length in case of sphere is R by 3. Characteristic length in case of sphere is R by 3. Characteristic length in case of sphere is R by 3. Then fourth one is cube. Fourth object is cube. So in case of a cube, LC is equal to V divided by A suffix S, and the cube volume is L cube, and the total surface area of cube is 6L square. Total surface area of cube is 6L square. So in case of a cube, the characteristic length we will get as L divided by 6, L by 6. Now next write down, now above equation becomes, now above equation becomes now above equation becomes H multiplied by A suffix S divided by rho VC multiplied by T is equal to HV divided by A suffix S multiplied by K multiplied by A suffix S square multiplied by K whole divided by rho VC rho V square multiplied by C whole multiplied by T, which is equal to H in one bracket H multiplied by LC divided by K, and in another bracket K multiplied by T divided by rho C LC square. Now here HLC divided by K bracket we have kept as it is, we have not done anything else. Okay, but in another bracket K divided by rho C we have converted it into alpha. K divided by rho C, that is nothing but thermal conductivity divided by heat capacity of the object is nothing but thermal diffusivity, which is represented by alpha, So in another bracket it will become alpha multiplied by T divided by LC square, alpha multiplied by T divided by LC square. Now further, HLC divided by K is nothing but a Biot number, that is B suffix I, and F naught is nothing but Fourier number. Okay, so F naught is nothing but a Fourier number. So you can write where B suffix I is equal to H multiplied by LC divided by K, H multiplied by L suffix C divided by K is equal to Biot number and F naught is equal to alpha T divided by LC square is equal to Fourier number. F naught is equal to alpha T divided by LC square, that is nothing but thermal diffusivity multiplied by time divided by characteristic length square is equal to Fourier's number, So what this particular Fourier number and Biot number signifies, so that we will try to understand the next point. So write down, give heading as a Biot number B suffix I, which is equal to H multiplied by LC divided by K, which is equal to H multiplied by LC divided by K. Now this particular equation H multiplied by LC divided by K, we can convert this equation in this particular format: LC divided by K multiplied by 1 upon 1 divided by H. Okay, so where this, we know that for any object the internal resistance can be written as L divided by K multiplied by area. Okay, and the surface resistance is written as one upon H multiplied by A. Okay, so Biot number is the ratio of internal resistance to the surface resistance. Internal resistance means what? The conductive resistance. Okay, internal resistance means what? The conductive resistance. And the external resistance means what? The convective resistance. So I will remove out this KAA. Okay, so which is nothing but the surface area or the area. Okay, so LC divided by K, we can say that it is the internal resistance, and 1 upon 1 divided by H is the external resistance. 1 divided by H is the external resistance. So Biot number is representing the ratio of internal resistance to the external resistance. Internal resistance to the external resistance. Okay. So what it signifies? So if the value of Bi is small, it indicates that the system has very small internal resistance, that is nothing but conductive resistance. If Bi is small, so in that case, the denominator side is larger than the numerator side. If Bi is small, then denominator side is larger than the numerator side. So what is in the numerator? In the numerator, the conductive resistance is there or internal resistance is there. And in the denominator, convective resistance is there or the external resistance or the surface resistance is there. If Bi value is small, so the obviously the numerator is small and denominator is large. Okay, if you compare both the values, then you can say that the numerator is large as compared to the denominator side. So we can say that when the value of Bi is small, it indicates that the system has small internal resistance, that is nothing but conductive resistance. So we can say that in that particular solid where we are getting the small internal resistance, so temperature gradient is also very small. Okay, temperature gradient means what? The temperature change with respect to distance. Okay, temperature change with respect to distance. As this particular value of internal resistance is small, so we can say that this temperature gradient is also small, and the temperature of that particular body is very uniform throughout that particular solid or that particular object. Okay, टेम्परेचर ग्रेडियंट कम रहेगा तो क्या होगा? टेम्परेचर यूनिफॉर्म रहेगा उस ऑब्जेक्ट में. ग्रेडियंट मींस व्हाट? वेरिएशन. जब टेम्परेचर का वेरिएशन कम रहेगा, ओके, विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू डिस्टेंस, ओके, देन वी कैन से दैट the temperature is uniform in that particular object. Temperature is uniform in that particular object, okay, or within the system. And that particular phenomenon or heat transfer phenomenon is dominated by the convective resistance only, okay. The heat transfer phenomena is dominated by the convective resistance. So if you say that if the Biot number is lesser than 0.1, okay, if you say that if Biot number is lesser than 0.1, the lumped capacity approach or lumped heat analysis, heat transfer approach we can apply for that particular problems. Okay, if Bi is small, smaller than 0.1, the lumped capacity approach we can apply for particular object to determine the heat transfer in a transient case, to determine the heat transfer in a transient case. Okay, so that it signifies if Bi is the ratio of internal resistance to the external resistance. If Bi value is small, then we can say that the external resistance is greater than the internal resistance. And if this Bi value is lesser than 0.1, then in that particular case we can apply the lumped heat capacity analysis to determine the heat transfer condition in that particular object. Okay, and if Bi value is small, we can say that the internal resistance is negligible and the temperature gradient in that particular solid is very much very small. Temperature gradient is very small, and because of that the temperature in the solid is very much uniform. Okay, temperature in the solid is very much uniform, so that whatever the heat transfer phenomena will happen, that heat transfer phenomenon will be predominated or dominated by the convective heat transfer only. Okay, convective heat transfer resistance only, that is nothing but 1 upon H. Okay, so you can write Biot number, write down Biot number Biot number. B suffix I is equal to B suffix I is equal to B suffix I is equal to H multiplied by LC divided by K. H multiplied by LC divided by K. H multiplied by LC divided by K, which can be written as LC divided by K, which can be written as LC divided by K, L suffix C divided by K, multiply by 1 divided by 1 upon H, 1 divided by 1 upon H, one divided by 1 upon H. Next line, write down. Therefore, Biot number, therefore, Biot number, therefore, the Biot number, therefore, Biot number is the ratio of, is the ratio of, is the ratio of internal, is the ratio of internal in bracket conduction resistance, is the ratio of internal in bracket conduction bracket complete resistance to the to the surface in bracket convection, to the surface in bracket convection resistance, to the convection resistance. Next line, write down. When value of B suffix I, when the value of B suffix I, that is nothing but Biot number, is small, is small, is small, comma, it indicates, it indicates, it indicates that, it indicates that system has a small internal resistance, 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 that is, that is, that is relatively small temperature gradient, that is relatively small temperature gradient, that is relatively small temperature gradients, that is the relatively small temperature gradients, that is relatively small temperature gradients, or the existence of, or the existence of, or the existence of practically uniform temperature, or the existence of practically uniform temperature, or the existence of practically uniform temperature within the system, practically uniform temperature within the system, full stop. Full stop. The convective resistance then predominates, the convective resistance then predominates, the convective resistance then predominates, and and transient phenomenon, transient phenomenon, transient phenomenon is controlled, is controlled, is controlled by the convection heat exchange, and transient phenomenon is controlled by the convective heat exchange, and transient phenomenon is controlled by the convective heat exchange, full stop. If Bi, that is the Biot number, is lesser than 0.1, if Biot number is lesser than 0.1, comma, the lumped heat capacity analysis, the lumped heat capacity analysis, the lumped heat capacity analysis approach, the lumped heat capacity analysis approach can be used, the lumped heat capacity analysis approach can be used to advantage, to advantage, can be used to advantage with simple shape, with simple shape such as plates, such as plates, comma cylinders, such as plates, comma cylinders, cubes, cubes, spheres, spheres, sphere. The errors, the errors associated is around 5%. The errors associated is around 5%. Okay. So when we neglect the internal resistance and if you are considering the the transient phenomenon is completely dominated by the convective heat exchange, and when we apply the lumped heat capacity analysis, so the calculation error will be around 5%, so which will be acceptable uh, uh, by considering the lumped parameter analysis or lumped heat capacity analysis. Okay, the error associated is around 5%. Okay, so full stop. Write down the next heading as the Fourier number, significance of Fourier number. Okay, significance of Fourier number. Okay, so Fourier number formula is alpha multiplied by T divided by LC square. So alpha is nothing but the thermal diffusivity. Means diffusivity means what? How fastly the heat can conduct or heat can diffuse in any solid. That is nothing but what? Heat diffusion. Diffusion का मतलब क्या है? फैलना, पसरणे. मराठीमध्ये त्याला पसरणे. किती फास्ट हीट पसरते, कितने फास्ट हीट बॉडी में डिफ्यूज होती है, कितने फास्ट हीट बॉडी में फैलती है, वो क्या रिप्रेजेंट करता है? अल्फा रिप्रेजेंट करता है. ओके, वो क्या रिप्रेजेंट करता है? अल्फा रिप्रेजेंट करता है. सो एफ नॉट इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग द डिग्री ऑफ पेनिट्रेशन of heating or cooling effect through the solid. Okay, degree of penetration means what? How far that particular heat can penetrate inside the solid. Okay, how far that particular heat can penetrate inside the solid. Okay, कितने दूर तक उस solid में heat जा पहुंची है. Okay, और heat और cooling effect जा पहुंचा है, वो क्या है? रिप्रेजेंट करता है, Fourier number रिप्रेजेंट करता है. Okay, so which we can find out by using the formula of a Fourier number, that is nothing but F naught is equal to alpha multiplied by T divided by LC square. Alpha multiplied by T divided by LC square. So it signifies, write down Fourier number. Fourier number F naught is equal to alpha T divided by LC square. Alpha T divided by LC square. Alpha T divided by LC square. It signifies that the degree of penetration, it signifies that the degree of penetration of heating or cooling, effect, heating or cooling effect through the solid, heating or cooling effect through the solid. It signifies the degree of penetration of heating or cooling effects through the solid. Okay, so getting what Biot number signifies and what Fourier number signifies. Is there any question, any doubt? You can ask now only. Is there any question, any doubt? Whether you understood everyone? Okay. So further, our equation number 6 can be modified. Equation number 6 is T minus TA divided by Ti minus Ta is equal to theta divided by theta I. Okay. So initial temperature difference is nothing but Ti minus Ta. So which is denoted by theta I, and instantaneous temperature difference, that is nothing but T minus Ta, which is denoted by theta, will be equal to exponential of minus H multiplied by A suffix S divided by rho Vc multiplied by T. Now instead of this particular square bracket, we can write Biot number multiplied by Fourier number. Instead of that particular square bracket, we can write Biot number multiplied by Fourier number. So our equation will become T minus Ta. Write down everyone. T minus Ta divided by Ti minus Ta. T minus Ta divided by Ti minus Ta equal to theta divided by theta I, which is equal to exponential of minus Bi multiplied by F naught. Minus Bi multiplied by F naught. Okay. Minus Bi multiplied by F naught. Okay. So further you can write this as exponential means what? E raised to. Exponential means what? E raised to. So you can write this equation T minus Ta divided by Ti minus Ta equal to theta divided by theta I is equal to E raised to minus Bi minus F naught. Minus Bi multiplied by F naught. Minus Bi multiplied by F naught. Getting everyone? Is there any question, any doubt? Minus Bi multiplied by F naught. E raised to minus Bi multiplied by F naught. Okay. Okay, everybody, have you finished this equation? Shall I move ahead? Is there any doubt, any question? So next heading, write down instantaneous heat flow rate and total heat transfer. Okay, instantaneous heat flow rate and total heat transfer. So instantaneous means what? Instantaneous means at that particular time period, or if you say that I have exposed the body to the surrounding at a zero time interval, or we can say that at the zero time. Okay, and after 10 seconds, how much heat will be transferred? At that 10th second, how much heat will be transferred? Okay, so that heat transfer will be considered as the instantaneous heat transfer. Okay, when I expose that particular body for a 20 second, okay, if you consider that when I expose the body for the external surrounding for the 20 second, and how much heat is transferred during that particular time period from 0 to 20 seconds, so that will be the total heat transfer. Instantaneous means what? At that particular time period, how much heat is transferred, and total heat transfer means for total time period, how much heat is transferred. That is nothing but instantaneous and total heat transfer. So now to determine the instantaneous heat transfer, we have to consider the heat exchange formula, that is nothing but Q suffix I. Q suffix I represent the instantaneous heat transfer. Q suffix I represent the instantaneous heat transfer. So Q suffix I is equal to mc multiplied by dt divided by d small t. Okay, so that is the energy released by the body, or energy coming or going out of that particular body can be represented as mc multiplied by delta t. But here we are taking the formula m multiplied by c multiplied by dt divided by d small t, because the temperature is changing with respect to time, because the transient condition is there. So temperature variation we are taking with respect to time. Temperature variation we are taking with respect to time. So instantaneous heat transfer Q suffix I will be equal to m multiplied by c multiplied by dt divided by d small t, where m is the mass of body, c is the specific heat, dt is nothing but temperature change, and it is changing with respect to time, that is nothing but dt divided by d small t. Okay, so further we have taken the formula for mass as volume multiplied by density. So our equation will become rho multiplied by V multiplied by C multiplied by dt divided by d small t. So that will be our equation number 7. That will be our equation number 7. Okay. So write down instantaneous heat flow rate is 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 q suffix I q suffix I q suffix I is equal to is equal to is equal to m multiply by c multiply by m multiply by c multiply by dt divided by d small t dt divided by d small t equal to rho vc divided rho vc multiplied by dt divided by d small t. Give this equation number 7. Give this equation number 7. Now once again we have to consider the equation number 6 to determine this particular dt divided by d small t. That is nothing but we have to differentiate the equation number 6 with respect to time, and we have to determine dt divided by d small t. Okay, so our equation number 6 is t minus ta divided by ti minus ta, which is equal to exponential of minus h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t. Okay, consider once again this equation. T minus ta divided by ti minus ta is equal to exponential of in bracket minus h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc whole multiplied by t, square bracket complete. Okay, further transfer the denominator side to the right hand side. So we'll get the equation as t minus ta is equal to ti minus ta exponential of minus h multiplied by a suffix s whole divided by rho vc multiplied by t. Just we have transport the denominator side to the right hand side. Write down the equation after transportation, and further we have transferred the ta, okay, on the right hand side. So we'll get the equation as t is equal to ta plus ti suffix ti minus ta exponential of minus h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t. Okay, everybody reach up to this particular equation. Now it will be easy to differentiate this equation with respect to time. So differentiate equation with respect to time. So t is the variable. So differentiation of capital T with respect to time, it will be dt divided by d small t. Then T suffix a is the surrounding temperature. It is having some value. So it will be considered as a constant. So differentiation of constant with respect to time will be considered as 0. Okay. Now in this particular last term, the variable is only time. Okay. The variable is only time. Small t is there. So ti minus ta will be considered as a constant. It will be remain as it is, ti minus ta. Then exponential e raised to 2x का डिफरेंशिएशन क्या होता है? e raised to 2x का डिफरेंशिएशन क्या होता है? e raised to 2x multiply by constant 2. Okay, 2 multiply by e raised to 2x. e raised to 2x का डिफरेंशिएशन क्या होता है? e raised to 2x multiply by 2. So in a similar fashion we have to differentiate this particular term, exponential term. Okay, so exponential term का differentiation we have written as it is, exponential term as it is, multiply by the constant, multiply by constant. Okay, so we'll get the equation as ti minus ta exponential of in a square bracket minus h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t. Now constant of exponential term, what is the constant of exponential term? Minus h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho Vc. This is the constant. We have to multiply by this, so that will be our differentiation. So multiply with the constant. So multiply of minus h multiply by a suffix s divided by rho Vc. Okay, multiply with the constant. So for the simplicity, I will written here. I will write here that differentiation of e raised to x. Okay, differentiation of e raised to 2x. क्या होता है differentiation of e raised to 2x? E raised to 2x as it is multiply by 2. Okay, multiply by 2. Okay, so this is for your understanding only, purpose only. Okay, so differentiation of e raised to 2x क्या होता है? E raised to 2x multiply by 2. So similar fashion we have applied this rule over here for the differentiation of exponential of minus h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t. Now here t is the variable only and this particular term is the constant. Okay, this particular term is the constant. So differentiation of this particular bracket will be nothing but exponential of bracket multiplied by constant. So constant is minus h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc. Okay, getting everyone? Is there any question, any doubt? So we have got this particular differentiation of t with respect to dt. So this can be put up in equation number 7. We have dt divided by d small t in equation number 7 for instantaneous heat flow. So instead of that, we can put this particular equation. Okay, instead of that, we can put this particular equation. So equation 7 is q suffix I is equal to rho vc multiplied by dt divided by d small t. Okay, so put up that particular equation of dt, differentiation of t with respect to t. So we'll get instantaneous heat transfer rate, instantaneous heat flow rate or heat transfer rate as q suffix I is equal to rho vc multiplied by ti minus ta multiplied by exponential of multiply by exponential of multiply by exponential of minus h multiply by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiply by t multiply by t multiply by minus h multiply by a suffix s divided by rho vc. Now here rho vc and rho vc from the numerator side rho vc and from the denominator side rho vc will be cancelled and we will get the equation as q suffix I is equal to minus h multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by t suffix I minus t suffix a exponential of bracket inside the bracket minus h multiplied by a suffix s divided by rho vc multiplied by t. Okay, so instead of this particular term bracket term we can write b suffix I multiplied by f naught, that is nothing but Biot number multiplied by Fourier number. So we'll get the equation for the instantaneous heat transfer as q suffix I is equal to minus h multiplied by a suffix s multiplied by t suffix I minus t suffix a multiplied by e raised to minus bi multiplied by f naught, where bi is nothing but Biot number and f naught is nothing but Fourier number. Okay, okay. Is there any question, any doubt up till now? So, is there any question, any doubt? Have you written all the points? Please note down all the things, important equation. Whether you understood or not, please comment in the chat box. Whether you understood what is meant by instantaneous heat transfer, how to determine that, please comment in the chat box. Or you required more explanation about this. Is there any doubt, any question? So in the next lecture, we'll discuss the total heat transfer and the problems on that. So just total heat transfer is nothing but integration of instantaneous heat transfer over the total time period with the limit of 0 to t. That is nothing but over the total time period limit, and we have to integrate that instantaneous heat transfer. That is integration of q suffix I multiplied by dt with the limits 0 to t. Okay, and after integration we will get the total heat transfer. Okay, that is nothing but q dash. That is nothing but our total heat transfer. So total heat transfer we will discuss in the next lecture. Okay, and the problems on this particular topic, lumped heat capacity analysis. Okay, so we'll stop here. If you have any doubt, any question, you can ask, or else you can put up your roll numbers in the chat box and you can join the plastic engineering lecture, next lecture, whatever. Roll number 46. Just put up your roll number in the chat box and you can leave this meeting. Is there any question for you?